All right. Live on YouTube once again, but this time on the Freight Broker 101 Training for Beginners YouTube channel. I'd like to welcome everyone who happened to jump in right now. Just want to announce something briefly. I have spoke the other day on the Dispatcher 101 Training for Beginners channel about dispatching, but today is freight brokering. So this is my channel, Freight Broker 101 Training for Beginner. Number one, I want to introduce myself. My name is Charles. I'm a freight broker trainer, also a dispatch trainer. Um, but yeah, so we have two types of trainings in our Exodus Logistics Learning Center (ELLC) platform. We have a freight broker seminar training, which are they're live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on both Tuesdays and Fridays. And then we have our ongoing freight broker trainings. So I'm sorry, the seminar trainings are 1 day training. I take that back. 1 day training, Tuesdays only on at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then the ongoing trainings are twice a week at Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So we talk about the basics of brokering. What is a freight broker? A logistics provider, someone who arranges for the transportation of freight. We talk about the requirements, the prerequisites. First of all, there are pre-requirements to being a broker. And then we talk about the requirements of being a broker. What do you need to be an active broker, to have your broker authority activated? We go over, in one of our last trainings, I went through the form that's online that you would fill out if you were going to be a broker. It's called the OP-1 form. And you set up an account online through the fmcsa.dot.gov website. That's called the URS account, Unified Registration System. Just in case you need to log back out to go somewhere and then come back, you'll have a login. And you fill out that form. Not every section on the OP-1 form, if you are filling it out as a broker, will apply to you. Most of the sections in there apply to the motor carriers, but some of those sections can be skipped over as it relates to like motor carriers and household goods, unless you are applying for a broker of household goods. But in most cases, the brokers that come through this training or inquire about broker training are acquiring about a broker of property. So there are two types of broker authorities: broker of property and broker of household goods. Okay, so you get an authority, you get an MC number, DOT number, and then you have to apply for your bond. So, and we go over these things in our 1 day seminar training, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The seminar, let me put the link to our seminar in case someone is interested in enrolling into that seminar training. Let's see here. Okay, so the seminar training is a 1 day training again, $199. What do you get? You get a whole freight broker, like a starter kit with all the materials that you would need to help you either recognize and know what they are when you do become a broker and become familiar with the concepts of brokering, or there are templates to kind of guide you along the way. Okay. So, and then you get a link to our Zoom portal to log in. We do a 1 to 2 hour training on the high level overview of freight brokering. And then if after the seminar you decide that you want to have ongoing freight broker training, then you would enroll into the ongoing program, and we would subtract or deduct that $199 cost that you paid for the seminar training from the cost of the ongoing training, which is $599 for a single member and $999 for the 2-for-1. So that's it for this announcement with the seminar training. We also have the ongoing training, but and if you have any questions, now is the time to put them in the chat box. Otherwise, we can kind of conclude this brief overview of our seminar, Freight Broker 101 Training for Beginners seminar training, which is held every Tuesday evenings from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're having one tomorrow. So if you're interested in an inexpensive way to come into the industry as a freight broker and decide if this is for you, $199 is a good price to decide if you want to continue and go on with it. So we go over everything. Packet types, TMS systems, accessing customers, how to get to the customers, the different styles and techniques you use to get to the customers, the different carrier types, whether they are asset-based carriers, whether they are network carriers or approved carriers under your brokerage. So we go over all those things. And load boards, obviously, strategies for brokers, different niches that you focus on as a broker. We go over, let's see what else, supply chain. So there's a hierarchy in the supply chain. We cover, raw materials, manufacturers, distributors, wholesalers, retailers, and the end user. We go over, all of those things as well. So Dispatcher 101, the link is, Freight Broker 101, Training for Beginners, Seminar Training Series, Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Tuesday. It's a high-level overview into the world of freight brokering. So in the transportation industry, we have 4 modes of transportation. We have rail, which is the trains. We have air, sea, and land, over-the-road trucking. And together, those are about $1.4 trillion a year industry, maybe more. But the trucking side alone is $800 billion. So, and I always say, if you have 1/2 of 1% of that, you're a millionaire, right? So if you come in as a broker and you are the true middle person between the customer, you have 2 customers, remember that, between the customer, the shipper, and the customer, the carrier. One cannot survive without the other, right? So you can have a shipper, but if you don't have carriers to move the load, then nothing happens. You can have a carrier or carriers or a trucking company, but if you don't have freight for them, nothing happens. So they both work interchangeably for your business, you as a broker. And you are the person who arranges for the transportation of that, right? You arrange for the transportation of the freight. You as a broker do not, I repeat, do not take possession of the freight. You arrange for the transportation of it. And we cover that in our trainings. So I'll pause a little bit, see if anybody's typing any questions in the chat before. If not, I'll go ahead and get off. I just wanted to, again, for those of you who are coming in a little bit later, just announce that we do have 2 types of training on our Freight Broker 101 Training for Beginners side, right? So we are the Exodus Logistics Learning Center. We have Dispatch Training for Beginners 101, Freight Broker 101 Training for Beginners. We are discussing on our Freight Broker 101 YouTube channel right now, the Freight Broker Seminar Training, which is a high-level overview of what freight brokering is. It is an inexpensive way for you to decide, if you take this seminar or this webinar, whether or not you want to get into freight brokering full time. And we answer the questions for you, all the basics. So again, if I notice there aren't any questions in the chat, so if that's the case, I will bid you guys a good farewell, fond farewell, and this should be on the YouTube channel once I'm done here. So going once, going twice as far as questions. All righty. All right, guys. See you Tuesday if you're interested in taking our seminar training for freight brokering and in order to lead to the ongoing training. Okay.